How would you like to bet right alongside your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper for the next 40 days for under $5 per day? Well, we have you covered. A 30-day all-access pass is priced at $2.99, but for a limited time, not only are we discounting the price by $100, but adding on 10 more days of picks for free. So outside of the $100 discount, we are tossing in a free 3-day all-access, a $39 value, and a free 7-day all-access, a $99 value for a combined savings of $238. So to recap, for the next 40 days, you will get all plays across all sports from your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper played during your access, including 5% best bets for under $5 per day. Have an existing all-access pass? No worries, as your 40 days will not begin until your current package expires.
What is up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope everyone is ready for an amazing weekend coming up. I'm Andy Lang from WagerTalk.com. Welcome to Prop Shop. Joining me every Thursday, as always, the one, the only. You can find her on Yahoo Sports, the prop queen, Ariel Epstein. And Ariel, last week we started off the show by saying it's 1:10 Eastern time and the Reds are already losing. And this week I can say it's 1 o'clock Eastern and the Reds aren't losing yet, but give him a half hour
40 minutes.
or so. So, Ariel, how are you? We always like to start off by talking about just a little bit of a recap and your thoughts from the last week in MLB. So tell us a little bit about what you learned, what you've noticed, and how the last week has been for you.
The last week's been pretty good. The last 24 hours, not so much. However, we are picking up on some Major League Baseball trends, especially when it comes to the strikeout props. You're seeing some of the teams from last year emerge as one of the higher K-rate teams all of a sudden. Some of those teams, like the Atlanta Braves, started off the year where they were more of a low K-rate team. Now you're seeing them get back to where they were last year, similar to the Milwaukee Brewers, similar to even the Cubs. There are certain instances where these teams, like last year, are getting to be more of the lineup that we remember, more strikeout prone. There are the other teams that we're picking up on, like the Seattle Mariners or the Cleveland Guardians. Those are certain teams that they are striking out very, very little amounts. Even the St. Louis Cardinals. I've told so many people who have looked to some heavy strikeout pitchers that they say, oh my gosh, like Nestor Cortez of the Yankees, his strikeout prop can't be high enough. Well, he's up against the Kansas City Royals, and that team does not strike out. Don't look at just the pitchers. You've got to look to the matchups. That's what makes you successful in strikeout props.
Isn't it amazing how if you just ignore one little piece of the handicap, it can really throw it off? If you got a pitcher that's striking out a lot, but he's going up against a team that doesn't strike out a lot, the number is completely different. So very important to just make sure you're looking at all angles on it. And you mentioned the Reds, you mentioned the Brewers, and you've got some plays for us. And we got one with the Reds and Brewers that starts here in a little bit. You've done fantastic in these afternoon games on Thursdays. So get us going. You got 3K props for us today. Let's start off with Hunter Green and the Cincinnati Reds and the Brewers. Tell us about it.
There's nothing like sweating out a K-prop in the afternoon slate. That's why I'm just such a degenerate, and I'm going to do it again today. I'm going with the Cincinnati Reds starting pitcher Hunter Green over 5.5 strikeouts. It's in plus money, somewhere around plus 110 to plus 120 range. I love Green because he's a strikeout pitcher. He hasn't gotten off to the best start for his first season. However, he is still a strikeout pitcher, and he's gone over 5.5 strikeouts in 3 out of his 4 starts this year. The Brewers, they have been striking out more than they were in the first few weeks of the season. This team's now the 5th highest K rate in baseball. They have the 3rd highest when up against right-handed pitchers. Right-handers are 8-7 over under their K prop when up against the Brewers this year. I like for this number on the over 5.5 strikeouts for Hunter Green, Andy.
Hunter Green, when he pitches, it's all gas. It's coming a million miles an hour, and it's either going to fly by the bat or it's going to leave the stadium. It feels like there's
that one's
not a lot of hits, a lot of Ks, a lot of home runs, but makes for an exciting afternoon game. Luzardo, I feel like we've been betting on Luzardo for 27 years. On his K-props. I don't know why. It just feels like he's always around. So talk to us about Luzardo. You like his over today, right?
I like his over of 4.5 strikeouts. It's gone up to 5.5. Apologies if you can't grab the 4.5 anymore. I was up at 8 a.m. Eastern time looking at these numbers. Jesus Luzardo's a lefty pitcher, and he's got the San Diego Padres. The Padres aren't necessarily the most strikeout-prone team in baseball. They have the 7th lowest K rate overall, 7th lowest K rates against lefties. However, when you look at the K prop, the books are just undervaluing some of these pitchers because starting pitchers are 14 and 11 overall this year when up against San Diego. Lefties are also averaging just over 5 strikeouts per start. This number at 4.5 was just a bit too low. Luzardo, he's gone over the number. He had 5 against Seattle, 8 against Atlanta, 3 against St. Louis, and 12 against the LA Angels. The teams that he went over against are top 10 K rate teams. However, because the San Diego Padres have been getting booked as one of the lower K rate teams, but they're striking out still, their averages are a bit higher than that 4.5. I would go with the over 4.5 strikeouts. Don't do 5.5. This one's a numbers game because pitchers are striking out batters at just over 5 strikeouts per start when up against the Padres.
All right, so we're going to take Hunter Green over. We're going to take Luzardo over, and then we're just going to stay right here in this game. And you like Martinez over, so we got a 3-pack of overs. Talk to us about Nick Martinez.
The starting pitcher for the Padres is their right-hander, Nick Martinez. I'm going over 4.5 strikeouts. This number's been fluctuating when it comes to the juice. I saw it at minus 155 this morning. It dropped to minus 144, went back up to minus 150 on the over. I grabbed it at minus 144. Anything below a minus 150, I'm willing to take. Miami is the 7th highest K rate in baseball and the 13th highest up against right-handers. However, righties are averaging just over 5 strikeouts per start. They're 9 and 8 over under their K prop this year when up against Miami. In addition to Martinez having 5, 4, 3, and 6 strikeouts this year that he's pitched, 6 against San Francisco, who's a high K rate team, and Cincinnati at 5 strikeouts is a high K rate team. So give me the over of 4.5 strikeouts on Nick Martinez. I'm willing to lay the juice in that minus 140 range for it.
Excellent. There we go. We have 3 winners right there. We could stop right there and have a really good 3-0 day. But I'm going to throw in some plus money hitter props. I've come on this show and done some really juicy ones, but I'm gonna go with some plus ones. So first, I'm gonna look at Pete Alonso over 1.5 bases at plus 140. He's got 5 hits in the last 3 games, and he does really well against Aaron Nola. He hits 353 against him. He's 12 for 34. But of those 12 hits, 7 of them are extra base hits. So I'm looking at a guy that can really stretch the bases. He can get home runs. He can get doubles. We only need 2 of them, and at plus money, this is a good one. And then my favorite play, I'm hoping Hunter Green cashes for you, but I got to fade the Reds somehow, so I'm going to go with Rowdy Tellez over half an RBI. This thing's at plus 170. This is a guy that had 8 RBIs last night, so he had 8 of the 18 runs he batted in. Obviously, that's a little bit anomaly, but he did have an RBI the game before the Reds. He has 21 RBIs this season. 18 are against righties. I just think the Reds are giving up runs like it's nobody business. I get a guy in the middle of the lineup that should have some base runners in front of him. Yelich is one of them. And I think Tellez at plus 170 get an RBI is fantastic value. So we look to cash a couple of these Reds and Brewers props going off at 1:40 Eastern time. Go ahead and lock those in. We're going to quickly do NBA. What a bummer. No NBA games tonight. What am I going to do? Oh, I have to take a walk or something.
I was up way too late last night anyway, and honestly, after the Mavericks decided to take the lead in the third quarter, I had them at plus 6.5. They end up completely falling apart in the fourth. I'm glad to take a break from the NBA, to be honest, Andy.
We had an easy cash on Dwight Powell under 10.5 PRA. Every time he committed a stupid foul and put his hands in the air like he couldn't believe what the refs had the nerve to call. It was glorious. So we had a really good cash on that. So I don't know. Have you any volume for you last week in the NBA? You've been playing a whole lot or kind of laying off?
I've been going back and forth, playing a lot one night and then backing off maybe another night, which is probably terrible. I should stay consistent. There's one trend that I did pick up on. It's the over on assists for Bam Adebayo, the Miami Heat center. Even though it didn't cash last night, it lost by the hook. He had 3. The number's 3.5. Adebayo, without their point guard Kyle Lowry, has been going over this number, and now 12 out of the 19 games he's played this year without Lowry. Before last night, it was 12 out of the 18 games he played without Lowry. The assists just seem to come to Bam more when Lowry's out because you lost that guard position. You need someone else to dish it out. You're going to get double covered underneath, and Bam's going to give the ball out to somebody else who's going to drive in the lane and get the extra points. So go give me that over 3.5 on Bam Adebayo assists. It's just a number that seems a little bit too low for a player that's been going over it with the Heat needing a little bit extra help dishing the ball out.
Yeah, you're going to get a really good value on that one because I'm not really sure why they would rush Lowry back. They got a really comfortable lead. They've been smashing Philly. So I would expect him to sit again. And then Butler just had a crazy night last night with the assists. I love the comeback on Bam. A couple of trends I wanted to bring up. Ja Morant, his points just keep going over. I mean, Golden State just doesn't have anybody to keep up with him. Jordan Poole is like a turnstile at the supermarket or the fair. He just ushers him to the basket. Clay is obviously not the same defender. Come back from his injuries, that's to be expected. But you just see Morant keep going over. Luka goes over again. It seems like Luka and Ja, they just can't put these point totals high enough. You're seeing 33 and 33.5 on some of these, and I see no reason why they wouldn't. Luka is struggling on defense, but it's because he's working so hard. And then, I mean, James Harden unders. He looks lost. He's played, 29 or it's either 29 or 30 games with Philadelphia, and he has not yet taken over 20 shots. It's really hard to get over this points, rebounds, and assist number if you're not taking over 20 shots. Books are still putting it out at 38.5 up to 40.5, depending on your book. I'm in no hurry to take James Harden overs. So I'll probably be writing the James Harden unders, Ja Morant's overs, and Luka Doncic's overs. We've got actually Ariel got a 5% max play for Saturday. That is up right now. The books are doing a fantastic job of releasing player props. I got to say, this is the best year that the books have done for releasing player props in the NBA playoffs, like early. You can get your numbers in the night before, so it's really, really been a good playoff. So, Ariel, tell the people where we can find you and where we can see you and where we can see more of the Prop Queen.
Definitely check out my Twitter at Ariel Epstein, Instagram at Ari Epst, all over sports.yahoo.com, and MLB Network's pregame spread back to 6 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday, usually, except this week because there's just so much programming going on that we got the boot till Monday.
Do you do TikTok?
No, I did for a little bit. I always just get into phases with it. It's such a dark hole that I don't need another addiction. So I backed off. I'm sticking with wine and gambling. That's it.
Yeah, we call Wednesdays wine and winning. Don't forget, if you add wine and dinner, you get winner. And I tried TikTok and I put a couple posts up and the kids made fun of me. And all I did was give out a free play that won. One of the insults, I actually had to look up the definition. I didn't know what it was.
What? Yeah. You got insulted by somebody?
Oh, that was all it was. It was like, hey guys, Andy Lang from WagerTalk.com. I really like this play. And so he was like, dude looked zooted. I was like, what in the
what is that?
Hell is zooted? Looks drunk or high. And since I recorded the video at like 9 a.m, I felt insulted. Because zooted to the kids means drunk and high. Zooted to me means it's too early. That's why I look like that.
Exactly. That's the thing. They don't ever see it like, oh, maybe he's this guy that just no. They're like, no, this guy's on TikTok. Something's wrong with him. He's probably an alcoholic.
I'm not arguing. We label our videos Thirsty Thursday, Wine Wednesday. I mean, there is a little bit of a trend there, so maybe I need to rebrand it.
It's not looking so good.
Listen, alcohol and betting go so well together. I have had so much fun over the years. No, don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. It's bad advice. Put your bets in the morning, and once the drinks start flowing, stay off of your account. So, all right, that is the great Ariel Epstein. You can find her on MLB Network and Yahoo Sports. Ariel, thank you so much. Always enjoyed talking props with you. Go check her out at Ariel Epstein. I am Andy Lang for WagerTalk.com. We got a 5% play up. It's ready to go for Saturday on a nice run in NHL. We're on a 15-1 NHL player prop run, Ariel. NHL player props. Don't ignore those in the playoffs. Yes, very exciting. So, all right, Ariel, thanks so much. I know you got a busy schedule. Good luck, everyone. Let's cash a bunch of tickets this weekend. And Ariel, we're going to see you again next week on Thursday for another edition of The Prop Shop.
How would you like to bet right alongside your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper for the next 40 days for under $5 per day? Well, we have you covered. A 30-day all-access pass is priced at $2.99, but for a limited time, not only are we discounting the price by $100, but adding on 10 more days of picks for free. So outside of the $100 discount, we are tossing in a free 3-day all-access, a $39 value, and a free 7-day all-access, a $99 value for a combined savings of $238. So to recap, for the next 40 days, you will get all plays across all sports from your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper played during your access, including 5% best bets for under $5 per day. Have an existing all-access pass? No worries, as your 40 days will not begin until your current package expires.